Welcome, everyone. This is Arne from Parcel Perform. Welcome to our first Parcel Monitor Fireside chat. Today, our topic is what are the retailers in the UK offering to meet delivery expectations? To tackle this topic, I have with me Martin Shaw, Head of Research for RetailX. Hi, Martin. Thanks for joining us on this chat.
It's my pleasure to be here, Arne.
Awesome. To get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and the interesting work you are doing at RetailX.
Sure. So I'm head of research at RetailX, as you mentioned. RetailX is a performance ranking company. So we go to retailers, we look at the industry, we produce several different types of reports. One is the ranking report where we benchmark different retailers against each other. Another is a country macro report where we look at the drivers for a particular country. We also do sector reports where we look at, say, luxury or footwear globally and what the drivers are for those sectors. Then we also have a research podcast called Retail Craft, which you can find on any podcast platform. We do webinars. Historically, we've been focused more on Europe, but these days we're very much a global company, and we've got reports coming out on countries all around the world.
Awesome. No, I think there's fantastic work out there from you guys. I think one of the things we picked up from your research is on the retail in the UK that only 57% of the top 500 retailers in the UK offer next day delivery options. So we were a bit surprised about that, given that most of the carriers actually offer next day delivery. So the question is, why aren't retailers taking that opportunity? Do you think that's going to change in the future, or what's your take on this?
Well, I think the first thing I'd mention is 57% is comparatively high. So it sounds like it's not much, but 500 companies, we look at the largest 500 retailers, and that's a lot of companies. You won't have heard of any of the names past 50 in most cases. So it's actually quite a high percentage compared to other countries globally. I think, however, to enable next day delivery, there's a lot more than just having carriers available. You've got to have significant investment in warehousing solutions, in the systems, in the actual buildings and structures, in the locations close to where consumers are. So it's not something that changes overnight. However, the direction of change is pretty clear. We recently had a look at consumer preferences in the UK in this very area. Actually, we polled consumers on the subject. 91% of e-commerce shoppers choose where to buy based on next day delivery. This rises to 97% among those who shop online more than once a week. And those last category is actually 48% of UK consumers currently in the pandemic. 95% of shoppers are more likely to purchase again from the same retailer if they receive their order quickly. So, as I said, the direction is fairly clear. But finally, there is also a bit of an argument to be made that next day is a necessity, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, but reliability is necessary 8 days a week. Or something like that, and what that illustrates is that some orders will never need to be next day, and what we require of them is just that they get delivered in good condition, and that you can track the order and have all of the other nice things to do with the order, so you've got all the information at your fingertips.
Okay. No, I think that is a good outlook. First of all, that it's in everyone's retailer's interest to offer a next day delivery, and probably with the additional volume that everyone got over the course of this year, maybe those investments that you referred to are a little bit more feasible. So the consumers will enjoy that next day delivery experience. Maybe if I jump to the next question is one of the pieces of research you guys have done around click and collect as a delivery alternative. So there right now, 54% of the retailers in the UK offer that as a percentage. So that's a quite maybe considerable number, because for those parcels, the logistics carriers don't have a job anymore. So do they have to be worried that this is kind of taking volumes away from them?
In short, no. It's a very nuanced picture, and I'm not just making the argument that the whole pie is growing, so everyone's okay. Actually, when you look at click and collect, what we've noticed is speedy click and collect has actually been becoming less and less offered over the past few years. So we've got the longest history for Europe, so I can compare that. But we've also noticed the same thing worldwide. So in Europe, we see in the past 3 years that in almost every country, about half as many or a third as many even retailers are offering same-day collection or next-day collection as they were a few years ago. However, the number of retailers offering collection is roughly stable. So I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing a story where retailers, guided, of course, by demand from their shoppers, and guided and by the availability of next day delivery, etc., from carriers, have chosen that option for speedy fulfillment. And in most cases, what we see is retailers don't offer speedy click and collect.
Okay, so we don't have to be worried that our kind of high streets and shopping malls turn into restaurants with showrooms and fulfillment warehouses. So that future of retail is a little bit farther out, or what do you think?
Well, it's interesting. Storefronts, I suppose, always have a marketing value. And there's certain types of retail which have adapted quite well to e-commerce, where people still like to buy in a store, say for furniture, but they're always going to have it delivered. But more than that, it's people do enjoy browsing. So even after this pandemic, obviously a lot of things have changed. A lot of stores have reconfigured into collection hubs, etc., as people have not been able to get into the shops, or not as many people are able to get in with square meter restrictions. But I expect that post-pandemic, customers will want to have that click and collect availability to continue, but at the same time, they want to go back into the stores. So perhaps it adds another string to the bow of the store rather than takes anything away from them.
No, I think that's a good view, and I'm sure most of the retailers like that idea. But I think very curious to get to that new world. So maybe one last question from my side on the kind of the notion of free delivery, no minimum spend. There's 21% of the top 500 retailers in the UK offer free delivery, no minimum spend to all their customers and the e-commerce for e-commerce purchases they do. So one of the things that we have seen is that with the pandemic, there are two effects. Customers change their behavior, and they're more common to just order stuff. Also kind of without very much consideration, and therefore I think there's a lot more orders with an increasingly lower order value. So particularly those retailers that offer always free delivery at no minimum spend may get into a situation where they don't like this trend. Do you think there will be a change in this logic, or is this something they can't get rid of anytime soon?
It's a really good question, and it's interesting to compare our figures on free delivery to yours about average order value. And I think I'd probably also see it in my personal shopping habits, to be fair. However, we find that many sectors that offer free delivery on all of their orders are those that typically have more highly priced products, such as jewelry, luxury goods, and appliances. And in that last case, free delivery draws in customers who would never consider picking up their own washing machine, for example. There is pressure on free deliveries, and you're right about that. But I think the commercial pressure will apply first, that squeeze will apply first to free returns. Right now, no one is going to want to inhibit sales. So free delivery will remain a valuable promotional tool. But once retailers survive COVID, the recovery phase will mean that minds turn to profitability. And so we should not assume that free delivery will remain unaffected. But for loyal, valuable, repeat customers, and particularly in competitive sectors such as fashion, there's no denying that next day and free delivery are significant inducements to purchase, and I would expect that to remain the same.
No, and I think one of the most successful kind of programs around free delivery is also tied to the element of loyalty. So if you create incentives for your customers to get free delivery and they can turn it into a loyalty program, I'm sure that fixes any business case that they may have. Wonderful.
Paid loyalty programs as well.
Exactly. No. So, and I think probably normal retailers wouldn't be able to get away with that. If you're a big marketplace, maybe that works out. But I think if you have multiple purchases, then offer free delivery might create a lot of more kind of loyal relationship with the retailer that they can support with free delivery going forward. Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Martin, for your time. It was really, really insightful. Really appreciate you sharing your views with us. And thanks for everyone to watch this initial fireside chat of Parcel Monitor. Please stay tuned. We will share multiple more fireside chats over the next few weeks. Thanks a lot.